What's good, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Anime Recommendations. And look, I know it's been some time. I know a long time. We don't need to talk about that though. But welcome to the 10th episode of Anime Recommendations, and Anime Recommendations has hit 1 year as of April. So congratulations to that. Thank y'all for everybody who's been supporting and showing love to it. I appreciate all the love and support that we've been getting, and I'm happy that people have been finding some success and love in these animes as well. And for anybody who is new to Anime Recommendations, because I ain't uploaded one in a long time, I try to recommend some anime for newer anime watchers or people who want to explore the anime catalog. And some stuff might be stuff that some of y'all might have heard, and some stuff might be stuff that y'all might not have heard of. The whole point is just to help people discover more animes and things that they do like. That's the whole point of this series. But I'm not going to do too much talking. Let's go and get straight into these anime. And the first anime on this anime recommendation list is Afro Samurai.
Hey, that a motherfucking RPG? You got a motherfucking RPG? An RPG in a motherfucking backpack?
And I know Afro Samurai is a kind of more common and familiar name for some people, but I was actually in anime communities and people were talking. A lot of them were newer anime watchers, and they didn't know what Afro Samurai was, or they knew of it and haven't seen it. So I decided to put it on this list to help people who are unsure of it get an idea of what they're going to be watching. And Afro Samurai was released under Gonzo Studios, and we've covered Gonzo animations a bunch of times on here. Just to list off a few: Hellsing, the 2002 version, two other anime that have been featured on Anime Recommendations, Basilisk and Samurai 7, as well as many more. But Afro Samurai not only has a show, but it also has a game, which is OD fire, and a movie as well. But the anime is more of a shorter side. I think it's around 5 or 6 episodes, so it's a very easy watch. And our story of Afro Samurai takes place in a futuristic feudal world era, where warriors not only use swords, but they use guns, cybernetic tech, RPGs, flamethrowers, and these warriors utilize all of these weapons to engage in combat to increase their status in the ranking system. The way that the ranking system works is through headbands. These headbands have different numbers, and as you kill higher tier headband members, you rank up in the system, all the way until you get to the number 1 headband. And the number 1 headband is a sacred headband because it's meant to embody godhood, immortality, supernatural powers, great knowledge, etc. So all of these warriors fight to obtain the number 1 headband, or at least just to move up in the rankings to be high enough to be recognized. And then we have our main protagonist that we follow, Afro, also known as Afro Samurai. Afro is a black swordsman who doesn't necessarily fight to get to the top of the ranks, but he fights just to get to the person that's at the top of the rank, a man named Justice, who killed his father wrongfully in a battle right in front of Afro at a young age. As Afro embarks on his journey to kill the number 1 headband holder, Justice, he also has to be defensive, because him having the number 2 headband brings unwanted attention, not only from other people wanting to take his headband number and his life, but also mercenaries who are hired to kill him. Now, this isn't a story about overcoming ambition and growth and any of that. For the most part, it's a story purely about revenge. It's about going out and hurting someone who wronged you, wanting them to suffer in this life and not the next. And sure, Afro meets some interesting people along his way, some that does challenge him physically and mentally. One of the most interesting people that he meets is an older black swordsman by the name of Ninja, who travels with him along his way, and he annoys Afro. But outside of that, he also encourages Afro and gives him words of wisdom in his toughest moments. Like I mentioned earlier, Afro is a shorter anime, only 5 episodes. And again, there's games that expand on more of the lore, as well as a movie. But the musical production on the show and the voice acting, like Ninja is voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. Like what more do you need to hear? But outside of that, the show music is produced by RZA of Wu-Tang. And my God, them fight scenes mixed with the music, for me personally, it feels like Samurai Champloo times 10. And the fight scenes is superb, especially for something to come out like when it did, and for Afro to be, a black samurai, and me being black. The show definitely hit and inspired me to keep going and look for more animes. It was one of the first animes that I actually really got into. And as far as the character of Afro, to describe him, he's cold. That's it. He's a cold spot in a room. He's not somebody that goes out and just kills innocents. He doesn't even really talk as much. He's whatever he needs to be to get his revenge. Nothing more and nothing less. That's the only thing in his mind. And he won't let anyone stop him from getting it. Definitely a great anime, especially for it to have 5 episodes and for it to be so well received and loved as it is. Yeah, for surely check out. I mean, again, 5 episodes, you know, it's not gonna hurt anybody. All right, we in our intermission. Yo, how you do this again? Screaming, how you do this again? All right. So look, we in our little intermission, man. Go ahead, get your snacks. I know that wasn't too long, but go ahead, get your snacks, get yourself ready for this second anime. The second anime of this video. You know, I'll give you 5 seconds. Hold on, let me count. 1, 5. All right, that's it. That's all the break you get, man. We're going on to our next anime. The second anime recommendation on this list is Vinland Saga. Now, I know some of you might say, I ain't heard of Vinland Saga. I'm not gonna watch it already. People already, look, the reason why I put this one on here, right? Me personally, is because people have been talking people out of watching Vinland Saga, like just even giving it a chance. And I figured I would put it on this list just to give some perspective into the anime and what it's about. But Vinland Saga is an anime that was released in 2019 under Wit Studio. And Wit Studio, the anime, I think this is my first time covering them. But some of the animes that they've worked on: Attack on Titan season 2 through 3, if I'm not mistaken, Spy Family, and The Great Pretender. Spy Family is also really good for anybody who haven't seen that. And obviously they've worked on more, but it just goes to show you the quality of their work. And the story of Vinland Saga takes place in England, 1013 AD, where most of the area is ruled by the Danish king. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but Sween Forkbeard. And there's Vikings that constantly battle, not just for land or to conquer, but there are some who fight for freedom, some who fight to take freedom, and some who fight to understand freedom. And in that world of uncertainty, pain, and chaos, we follow our main character, Thorfinn. And Thorfinn embarks on a journey to avenge his father. Now look, I know this sounds like the typical anime trope, right? The first anime had this trope, right? Yeah, I know. But, hear me out, right? Hear me out. Now, Thorfinn, he embarks on this journey for revenge while also trying to follow his father's ideology of what it means to not only be a warrior, a true warrior, but to also be a good person as well. So he has his battles, he has his moments, whether that be slaying enemies or going to the darkest pits of his mind to try to figure out who he is, why he is, and for what he is. The highlight of this story isn't its action, and that's shown within the first episode. The highlight of the show is his philosophies and his ideals. Understanding grief and trauma, allowing yourself to grow, and then believing in something bigger than yourself, which is the world and the people within it. And more importantly, it's about understanding that morality is relevant. And even though the man who killed Thorfinn's father is the person that he hates the most, his biggest enemy is constantly and will always be himself. And that's what makes this show so good to me. For anybody out there who like Berserk, I love Berserk. Berserk is one of my favorite mangas of all time. You know, rest in peace, Kentaro Miura. I actually did a video, like one of my first videos on this channel was me talking about why Guts is such a great protagonist. But this show feels a lot like that, while not to the same degree to an extent, because of just everything that's going on in Berserk is just fucked up. But its ideologies of a main character growing and overcoming not their enemies or the world, but overcoming themselves is what drew me in and what makes this show so good. And as far as Thorfinn, our main character, usually I try to describe characters, you know, by their personalities and all that. The best thing that I can give you for Thorfinn is he's a character that's lost. He constantly progresses and regresses as a character. We see the whole emotional spectrum with him, and it's a beautiful thing for us to see, because it's something that a lot of readers or viewers can make that emotional connection with and ultimately get some type of advice or insight from this anime. The animation on the show obviously is stellar. You know, the fight scenes are good, character designs are beautiful, and also like character personalities just works well for the show. It has 2 seasons right now. The first season is finished, 24 episodes. The second season is still ongoing. I haven't watched the second season, but I read the manga, so I know what happened. But as far as animation wise and all that, I wouldn't be able to give y'all any solid criticism on that aspect for season 2, because I have not started yet as of this time. But it's definitely a great watch, one that has you think more than just enjoying the view, and one that I feel a lot of people can get a lot of life advice from. All right, and that's it for this anime recommendation videos. Look, I appreciate everybody for coming through. I appreciate the love and the support. I know this one might have been shorter, and these weren't like necessarily hidden gem animes, more so gems that was out there, but a lot of people I feel haven't seen them, or a lot of people I know of literally have not seen them, or heard of them, but only heard bad things about them and haven't had the chance to have someone, you know, explain what makes them good and great, you know what I mean? So, you know, this time I gave y'all 2 animes that was different sides of the same coin, you know what I mean? But I hope y'all enjoy. I appreciate the love and the support. Let me know if y'all have seen these animes. If y'all have, let me know what y'all think of them. Obviously be respectful in the comments, you know. We not here to start no wars. We're here to help anime grow and expand and to welcome newer anime watchers as well. But I appreciate the love and the support, and I will see y'all all in the next video. Later.
So we're both myths. I do not come to you as the reality. I come to you as the myth.